we've never spoken about this before, but this was covered by both you guys on No Jumper. You in the fight with Pino.
Yeah.
What started the whole back and forth?
Him snitching.
Who did he snitch on?
Fucking everybody. So I don't even really want to get into this shit because I feel like his career is dead. And the only way it gets brought back up is by continuously talking about dude. But how this shit, how it started was there was 3 channels from Florida. It was me, K-Frog, and Pino. And everybody was cool. And then a random YouTube channel dropped a video saying he was snitching. So we called him, asked him about it, and he's like, oh yeah, that's my co-defendant and this and that, Because he basically snitched on a female in his case. And he said everything was true about the paperwork except for the part of him snitching. And then just more and more shit came out, and then fucking the interrogation video I ended up getting. He was the first person I ever exposed for snitching. But I got the interrogation video. It was like 14 or 15 different people he told on. And then he rode around with the police showing them whose house was who and whatever. And then the day after I dropped the interrogation video, he wasn't a Crip anymore. He changed his life and became a family man. So, yeah.
Okay, so you put that out there, and, you know, I'm sure he felt some type of way about it. And I guess at one point he was coming to Boston?
Yeah, that what he say. What I heard was they were going to Michigan or some shit. He was looking for him and K-Frog. They were supposed to fight, a link up or whatever. And one of them, K-Frog, would go looking for him. He would go looking for K-Frog. They lived like 15 minutes away. Nobody ever found each other. So he was supposed to go to Michigan or something, and he asked whoever to stop in Boston, because it was him, whoever he was with. They stopped in Boston, and he started doing the whole 6ix9ine shit, like, oh, I'm here. You know this is where I'm at. So I feel like you're doing it to try to antagonize me, you know? He's posting, he's coming to Boston, whatever. So I went live outside of where I was living at, like, all right, pull up. And I was on live for like 30 minutes, some shit like that. And nobody pulled up. And then when I go to the back of the buildings, come to find out, he was in the back of the buildings the whole time, just sitting there on his phone watching me on live. So then when I come to the back of the buildings, we see each other, and then we get in a little fight.
Okay, so you guys get into a fist fight, but it wasn't recorded, right?
No, it was recorded.
Was it released?
They didn't put out the whole thing.
Okay.
They put out like clips.
Okay.
He put out what he felt made him look good. So that's what they put. And then they took out the audio because you hear certain shit in the audio that wouldn't have made him look good. And that's how that happened.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. At the time, were you on probation or anything else like that?
No.
Okay. Why would you meet up to physically confront somebody knowing that you might get sent to prison over it?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't feel like I would get sent to prison over it because I knew what I was willing to do and what I wasn't willing to do.
Well, but once again, let's go back to the earlier part of our interview where you and I agreed once you put your hands on somebody, you don't know what's going to happen next.
No, that's a fact. And like you also said, you can't expect a fair fight.
Exactly.
But I went into the situation with the understanding that if anything gets used or if I get jumped, it makes you look like a bitch, not me. So all that fighting shit, because he was down there for a while, like a month or two, going at it with the other dude, and they can't find each other. So if you came all the way to my city, I'm not going to disappoint you, all right? You want to fight? Let's fight. And then he did his No Jumper interview after that. That's actually what got him the interview. And Adam asked him if he used a weapon, and he said on the interview that he used the weapon. So, I don't know. I just felt like Obviously, he come up, I shoot him, I'm going to prison. I stab him, I'm going to prison. But we could fight. And it just, whatever.
Well, slow down for a second. You could go to prison in a fist fight. You could hit someone, they fall, hit their head, they die. You're now up for a murder.
Right. Well,
right?
Thank God that didn't happen.
Thank God it didn't happen. But I'm just saying, things happen in the course of a fight. Especially when you're big and, you know, you've had a history of violence and everything else like that. Yeah, you want to just do a fade and, you know, everyone just uses their hands and so forth. But, you know, people fall on the ground, people get stomped. You know, like I said, with the whole Eric Holder situation, it just started out as a fight. It started out as something stupid, actually. He was wearing all red and some Crip in his neighborhood was like, hey, man, you ain't no Crip. Take all that red shit off. And an argument ensued and the guy slammed his head against the ground and he ended up having to have brain surgery.
Nah, yeah. I mean, it was a fucking great learning experience. Cause if I was actually beefing with a gangster, I could have just got killed.
Right.
You know, like there wouldn't have been no fight. I would have just got shot. Cause I was outside on live for 30 minutes by myself. Nobody was with me. And you know, the story changed as time went on. I had people with me. My baby mama was outside. All these new things got added on to make the story sound better. Nobody was there. It was just me, him, and the people he brought. That was it. So it's like, that's what it is.
So did he have a weapon after he admitted that he had one on the No Jumper interview?
You gotta ask him.
Okay.
But I'll say this though, right? After that happened, he ended up catching another case. So he got caught at a gun range shooting guns as a felon, right? And within the paperwork of his case, it says that investigators had been watching his Instagram for months. And the time lapse between how long they've been watching him was before we had fought. So had I did anything extra, I'd have been gone. Because they were already watching everything he was doing. And then it progressed even more. Like, dude just became obsessed. Like, he still watches all my shit. And this is like, how many years has it been? Like 3 years, 4 years? Mad later. He'll still watch my shit on Instagram. He'll still talk about me. Because that's the only thing he can really, like, talk about is that interaction. And then, more paperwork came out on him showing that he was in protective custody and that he wrote a whole fucking thing in prison to get put in PC because he was getting extorted and just all this crazy fucking shit. So it was a learning experience.